Hi there. I just wanted to make a video because a few people have been asking me a few questions and on my page on my through my Deepscale page, and it seems there's a recurring theme um, that I'm sure every producer knows about, and really it's probably one of the biggest problems, and it's writer's block. And it's something that I used to get myself quite a lot, but within the last year, a few things have clicked, and um, I don't really get it anymore. And if I do, it's very rare. I tend to just start a track, and it takes between 4 and 8 hours, and I can generally just see it through to the end. But it was only after a lot of thinking about why I was getting writer's block that I sort of came to the conclusion that really writer's block is something that actually is a problem with the workflow and the way that you think. So I will in future I will do more tutorials on this, but I just wanted to do three quick tips which have been useful for me to actually help eliminate problems with my workflow that were resulting in writer's block and unfinished projects, and just the general frustration. So I'm going to go through them now. So the first one is no more gear. Now, I don't even know if that's the right way around on the screen. Looks like my camera is flipping it. That's good, isn't it? Okay, well that says no more gear. So basically one of the decisions I made was that I was going to stop buying more crap. I just buying, researching and buying countless plugins because, some developer or whatever tells me buy this plugin and your music will sound great, or buy that you need such and such a plugin. If you're using a half competent DAW such as Ableton, basically you already have everything that you need. And the most important thing that I've learned is to actually learn in depth the tools that I have and absolutely max out those tools. And I think that's a very important part of any creative endeavor, is to completely peak with the tools that you have before upgrading and moving on to new tools. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy new tools, but what I'm saying is that only buy them when you absolutely know that you can't do the job with what you've got. It's surprising, just the Ableton Reverb has taken me 7 years until I started actually using it properly. And I was on the verge of buying another reverb and just making things complicated. So that's just one example. So I would definitely recommend just halt all new gear. And when you see the adverts online and in YouTube and all this crap, basically, synth developers are just trying to make money at the end of the day. So they're just doing their thing, and that's fine. But I would say if you truly want to reduce the amount of error rate that you have with producing music, is to just stop and just start to learn in depth everything that you've got. So that was the first one. The second one, which is going to be the wrong way around again, apparently. I have no idea why that's happening. Weird. And what it says is, it says identify gaps. So when I sat down and really thought about why I was having problems, I realised that basically there were gaps in my knowledge. And unfortunately, the way that humans work, or the way that I definitely work, is that if there are any gaps in my knowledge, any foundational gaps in my knowledge, I can't move to the next level. It's basically impossible. So what I did is I sat down, listened to my music, and had a very honest internal debate with myself about what was crap with my music, basically. And I realised I had gaps in my knowledge. And once I realised that, then I started to make progress, and that sort of brings me on to the last point, which is close the gaps. So close the gaps in your knowledge. So for me, the gaps were music theory, synthesis, and also some issues that I had around mixing. And when what I did is each one of those things, I decided that I would not produce another track until I absolutely knew that that was the right way to do it. And of course, there's a lot of conflicting information out there, but for me, it was just a case of I either would pay someone to show me how to do it, or I would buy a course, or whatever. I'd speak to anybody online, speak to anybody on Facebook, and just try and find out, and just keep researching, and eventually what I found is that the answers to the gaps in knowledge are out there on the web, but you have to be persistent with it, and you have to dig through a lot of information to get the right information out. And for me, the right information was one that really, I had the intuition of what I thought needed to be done, but I was sifting through a lot of crap, and eventually I would start to see a few people saying things, and I thought, I think this guy is onto the right thing, and for me that's worked. So you're the only person that can make the decision on that. So yeah, that's it. That's just the 3 quick tips. I'll hopefully do a more in-depth tutorial on this in the future, but for now, hopefully that's helpful. So just to recap on that, it's know more gear, identify gaps, and then close the gaps. And if you do those 3 things, I am fairly confident that you will begin to have less frustration and more productivity. That's all. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you're on Facebook, feel free to like my Deepscale page and send me a message. If you have any questions or requests for tutorials, then fire them over. I'm always happy to try and help other producers. I've been doing this a long time, and I've had a lot of frustration, and it's nice to share that. So that's all. Thank you very much.